Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Kinfolk and Nem with, of course, your favorite Kinfolk, X Williams, Greg, B Reese, and Ish. Of course, any other episode we will have Napoleon Rubber Show, but unfortunately tonight we cannot have him because due to personal reasons he won't be here tonight. But he will be back shortly, and of course tonight we have another great episode with our guest of the night, Mike Shaflon.
What's going on, y'all?
How you doing, Mike? How you doing? Hey, it's all right if I messed it up. I'm pretty sure I got it close enough because Mike don't want to be known anyway. So we're gonna keep it at Mike. All right, is that good?
Yeah, it's fine with me, brother.
Already. So before we get on to everything, let's make sure we let everybody know. Please like and share this broadcast so we can get more folks watching the broadcast on Facebook and YouTube. Appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe to Kinfolk and Nem on YouTube. Please make sure you do. And again, before we get into our broadcast, we just want to give a quick shout out to Kobe Bryant. Yesterday was Kobe Bryant Day, and we just want to give a RIP to Kobe and the family and whatnot. It's been a crazy year, and it honestly feels like longer than a year. Or that it feels like it's been 3 years that Kobe's passed, and it's only been about 7-8 months. It's been a crazy year, and I just want to give a shout out to Kobe Bryant and the family. All right, and again, before we head into the topics, just want to give a quick shout out to Mike. He is a teacher in the Houston School District area, and just want to give like I said, just want to talk to you right quick about how everything's going with COVID and teaching and how that going with you.
Well, in my district, what we're doing is we're actually going into a online only for the first month. And then right after that, we're going into more like a hybrid style in which they're actually going to be coming into campus, but the kids get to choose. So it's going to be an odd situation for a while to kind of get everything acclimated, to be honest with you.
What day do you guys start?
Repeat that for me.
What day do you guys start the hybrid in person?
October, early October.
Okay.
So they give them a month, and then, like they said, they get to have the kids choose. So we have about a 60-40 split right now, where 60% of the kids say they are not coming to class. So it's going to be interesting to have a classroom where there's only about 5 kids.
Now, with you teaching, now, of course, if people that have watched the show previously, Brett is also a teacher as well in the Dallas area. Mike, with you having to teach, keep people in the classroom and also virtual, how is that going to, work?
To be honest with you, I'm not sure. That's all about flexibility when you become a teacher. So for me, usually I used to love doing more project-based because I teach sociology, psychology, history. So I'm doing pretty much 3 or 4 different subjects. And so a lot of times I like to do a lot of hands-on things that can get kids involved. Because, overall, when you're in high school and all you hear is lectures 24/7, we all zone out. So I usually try to put more power into their hands, and they're very receptive to it. So we'll see how this kind of works out.
Anybody else have any questions for my boy Mike before we head on to the next topics?
Let's start podding, baby.
I was gonna say after we start our hybrid model on September 14th.
Mm-hmm.
So we're actually more fast paced than you guys, unfortunately. So at least you guys get to get used to the online model, at least for a little bit. And for us, we start on the 19th of this month, and then we're switching to the hybrid model on the 14th of next month. So we don't really even get to get used to being online. Yeah, so at least you guys get to get used to
get used to it. Yeah, it's going to be different because everything is going to be more scripted. That's the one thing I do not like about online is because I like to be myself. And so when you're online and you're on a webcam, everything is usually way more scripted because, of course, you're going to be having APs reviewing, parents reviewing. So you want to make sure that you stay on course the whole time.
Do you guys have to record your Zooms?
Yeah. We figured out that we don't have to double down. So what we're going to do is we're just going to record our Zooms for one class and then post it for the same subject.
Oh.
So we don't have to sit back and lecture the same thing over and over again. So they kind of give us a little bit more leniency on that.
We don't get that same flexibility. We have to be on there because we're doing block scheduling, so we have to do it all. We have the kids for 90 minutes.
What grades do you teach?
I teach middle school, so I'm it's weird because so in Houston most middle schools are 6th, 7th, and 8th, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in Dallas, well, in the Richardson area, we're only 7th and 8th.
So 6th grade is elementary?
No, middle school. Oh yeah.
Okay.
So 6th grade is elementary.
Well, I'd be mad. I could imagine being in 6th grade and then you're still in elementary now.
Yeah.
Big ass elementary kids.
It's weird. But I mean, okay. Sorry to take over the podcast. My bad, guys.
No, you're good, Brad. Go ahead and y'all talk about y'all's teacher performance and what. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. It's all good. This podcast went from an entertainment podcast into a teaching podcast. It's all good. Don't worry. We'll follow back on it. But the reason why everybody joined this podcast is to definitely check out this Brandy versus Monica Verzuz battle. This was just one topic. Everybody did not show up for just this topic, but we have more to talk about. So this Brandy versus Monica Verzuz. I think this is a very classic 90s R&B battle that is very slept on with these two ladies. Of course, Miss Brandy has Moesha back and running on Netflix. If you haven't gotten a chance to check that out, go ahead and check it out. I've definitely been watching it. And the reason why I want to give a shout out to Moesha is because a lot of those episodes, even though they were in the 90s, still pertain to what's going on in 2020. They say history repeats itself. So if you ever get a chance to go check out Moesha again on Netflix, go ahead and check that out. My Kinfolk, what you guys think about this versus battle?
Who's going first?
I'm gonna let the
Somebody.
guest go first.
Yeah, the guest. Yes, Mike, go ahead.
So I had to choose one.
You gotta do something.
All right. I had to choose Brandy. Just off the fact that I listened to more Brandy growing up, so I can't sit back and say that I would choose otherwise. I haven't listened to enough Monica to really sit back and have a valid point in this debate, to be honest with you. So I just had to go to Brandy on that one.
Respect.
I'll have to say that I'm gonna have to agree the same thing. To be quite honest with you, if somebody were to give me like $1 million question that like name 5 Monica songs, I couldn't do it. I'm gonna have to miss out on that $1 million opportunity because I cannot name 5 Monica songs, to be honest with you.
Name 3.
Yeah. I still ain't got $1 million yet, my nigga.
Bruh, that was mad disrespectful.
Now I would say
It really was mad disrespectful, sir.
I was asking.
No. Let me bring it back. I think Monica is more talented. I think Monica has a better voice, but Brandy makes better songs by far. Shout out to Monica though, but by far, you do not make better songs than Brandy. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna have to say Brandy's gonna win this one landslide. Shout out to Monica though, but Brandy got better songs than you, and it's gonna be a good battle to watch. I'm not gonna watch all of it. I'm gonna tune in for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Monica's fine as hell, so I'm gonna watch Monica. But
Shout out to Monica. Shout out to Monica and Master P. I'm sorry, C Murder and whatnot. That whole C Murder situation they got going on. Shout out to that.
Well, shout out those two in the same sentence. Monica and Master P. They not rocking right.
They not, but so shout out to that. So I just want to show you guys right quick a quick little quick little verses on Monica and Brandy. I hope you guys can see that. I don't know if you can. I think you guys can see that. Let me see. My bad.
I don't know anything. I don't know what the hell the first.
Anyways, so my bad. I'll read it out to you guys. All time streams for Brandy. Brandy has 111 million all time streams. Most streamed album, The Best of Brandy. Most streamed song, The Boy Is Mine. Monthly listeners for Brandy. She has 1.1 million monthly listeners, which is a lot of listener for somebody that don't sing anymore like that. Hit that fell the hardest, Broken Hearted, song that deserves more streams, Full Moon. Monica, all-time streams 104 million compared to 111 million. Most streamed album, The Boy Is Mine. Most streamed song, The Boy Is Mine. Monthly listeners 1.1 million as well. Hit that fell the hardest, The First Night, song that deserved more streams, Before You Walk Out of My Life. So let's not act like these two ladies don't have some hits out there, because they definitely do. Just because we don't listen to them don't mean that they don't have the hits, right?
Nah, according to these other fools, they said Monica is trash.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I mean,
you definitely did.
Directly said that, but I'm not gonna say she's trash. So outright, I'm not gonna do that.
Brett over here said name 3.
No, I just asked. Bro, don't do that. I was just asking.
Nah,
He
but
said he could name 5. So I was trying to see if he could name 3. Just like we're trying to see if X can name 3 of the same sports teams, but we're not gonna do that.
Nah, bro, that was.
Wow.
I can. We can say that for the end of the show too.
You knew what you were doing when you said name 3.
All I said was name 3. I can't name 3, so I was asking if he could.
So I'm gonna say I have to agree with everybody else. I'm gonna go Brandy.
Nigga, what the fuck? You did all that just to agree? Fuck out of here.
I'm gonna go with Brandy.
Bro,
Damn, bro.
I just agree. You childish. Hey, you talking about me being childish?
Hey man, I was trying to be, trying to keep it level, but then when I really thought about it, I gotta go with Brandy. I'm not gonna go with Monica. But I will say
because
I feel like Brandy had like she had a larger impact on not just like she had good hits, but she had an impact on the genre, on that time. I think she was more so of like a
trendsetter,
like a big figure for, at that time. I think that she has a bigger impact on the culture. So I think that a lot of people are going to resonate with her songs more so than they're going to resonate with Monica's. Not to say that, there are people that will resonate with her, but,
I will say that shout out to Ish about what he talked about with Brandy shifting the culture, because again, going back to Moesha, he definitely is correct. If you watch that show, remember the Parkers is a spinoff of Moesha. When Kim was on there and she went to college, and that's what created the Parkers and Professor Ogletree and all that good stuff. And also as well, we got introduced to Ray J. Kobe Bryant, also rest in peace, Kobe. Kobe was on that show. Usher was on the show. You had a lot of young black male and female actors on that show that ends up, being your names outside of that show as well. So it was really like it said, it was really cool to see Moesha play a big part in the culture of the black community, because again, if you watch the show, they're wearing FUBU, wearing Sean John, you wearing the things that we used to wear back in the 90s, and it's just a really cool, it's a different type of black show besides Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Cosby Show, Blackish. It was a great show to come out at that time period. I'll say that.
But I'm picking her because of her impact, not just that, the hits thing. Because Monica got a lot of hits. Y'all disrespecting her, but she got some hits though.
Name 3 then. Name 3.
We disrespecting?
Name 3-ish.
So Gone. I'm gonna cheat and say the boy is mine.
Nah,
he can do that. Go. Nah, he good. One more ish. One more.
Yeah, that's a fucking cop out, nigga. No, he cannot.
For You I Will. Space Jam. Come on now.
You gotta think about it though.
That's a classic.
It's all good. He got it though. He got it. That's 3.
The boys
name 3, and I got it.
Cop out, bro. They was on the same fucking song.
Oh, well.
I ain't gonna lie. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I forgot about So Gone. That I ain't gonna lie. That's a good song though. That's a good song.
Anyway,
I would like to go. I don't remember that one.
So Gone over you.
Don't sing it.
That's my jam right there. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I forgot about that song. That's a nice one.
That didn't ring any bells.
Hey, you better stop listening to Neo. Then you go listen to Monica.
Hey man, Neo has more hits.
Why you make that man start singing?
Hey, you know you want to hear. Hey, I got a new mic. We can test these vocals right quick, son. I can hit that.
No, thank you. No,
that high note, son. At high note, I can hit it.
I did not ask him to sing at all. I asked him how did it went. How did the song go?
Don't be.
You know he gonna.
Don't hate on my. Don't hate on my greatness.
I did not ask him to sing one time.
Don't hate on my singing.
No. But what I wanted to bring up for you.
All right, so
with this discussion, what I want to bring up. Yeah, let me say what I want to say, dog. Anyway, what I wanted to bring up is everybody keeps saying all these things like, "Oh, the culture won with this one." I think that we are labeling, just like people label classic albums like, oh, this is a classic when it's not really a classic. I think too many of these versus battles are getting labeled like, oh, the culture won with this one. Like, dude, anybody can get up on there now and people will be like, the culture won. But I think this one, I think there are certain verses that are like classics from back in the day that they were just, you know, Monica versus Brandy was big back in the day. I think with this one, it don't matter who we say wins on Black Twitter, the culture gonna win with this one because it's gonna finally settle that long debate over Monica versus Brandy.
I mean, it ain't gonna settle shit. First of all, it ain't gonna settle shit. But I disagree with. I understand where you're coming from. Yes, some versus battles were kind of trash. But that Rick Ross 2 Chainz battle we had a couple weeks ago, that shit was nice. Now again, you telling me if they get Kanye and Drake on there for a versus, you telling me they're not gonna, you know, that's not gonna set it up for even more verses in the future? Like again, if we had Michael Jackson and Prince was still alive, if we had that shit, you know, that would be live too. I'm just saying.
But that's what I'm saying. Some, you know, there are going to be some battles there that are going to make sense that to me are like classics that, yeah, the culture going to win no matter what happens with those matchups. But then there's other matchups where it's like, yeah, it's a good matchup, but it's not necessarily like everybody really want that matchup. It's just all right.
You got anything to say about this, Mike, before we head on to the next topic?
Nah, y'all got it.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna do no segue. I'm just gonna go ahead and just talk about it. Hey, shut up. Megan Thee Stallion, is she considered a snitch because of what she had to say about the whole Tory Lanez situation, going on Instagram Live and telling her side of the story? Is she considered a snitch? Greg, let's go ahead and start that off.
Give me my alone time, baby. Give me my alone time.
I got you, Playboy.
How y'all doing, everybody? Good evening, everybody. To everybody who's watching. The question you see down here is Megan Thee Stallion a snitch? Let me break something down to y'all because I've seen a lot of shit on Twitter.
Break it down.
Yeah. Let me break this down to y'all. How in the fuck can a civilian be a snitch? We need to stop bringing street life into civilian life. There are two different things, my nigga. Why are y'all calling this woman a snitch? Why? If you literally follow the story, and even if you don't follow, just take the little tidbits from it, little pieces from it, she's not a snitch. She was trying to avoid talking in public, period, about this stuff. She was trying to hold it in. She was letting her publicist and all that, doing all the work for her. So why are you calling this woman a snitch? Snitching is only applied to people that are in the streets. Tekashi 6ix9ine is a snitch because he tried to be a street dude and got fucking caught up. And didn't want to do time. Didn't want to do some grown man shit. No, Megan Thee Stallion is not a snitch at all. She's a civilian. She got fucking shot in her foot. She tried to play it off and not try to say anything about the situation. And she played it the way she was supposed to play it because she's a fucking civilian. Stop calling her a snitch. She's not a snitch. And Tory Lanez, you a pussy. I'm done.
All righty then. That was some strong words from Greg. Anybody else got anything to say?
Them some fighting words.
Well, my thing is, how are you a snitch?
Those some shooting the foot words right there.
Like, how are you a snitch when you get shot? If somebody shot you, why would you be labeled a snitch? That's the one thing I don't understand. Like, okay, if you shoot me, yeah, I'm going to say something. Well, I'm just like, nah, I'm not going to say anything because whatever. No, she got shot. Like what old dude was saying. Megan Thee Stallion, she's not that type of street person. She's just an entertainer. She's an artist. So at the end of the day, she she has a lot to lose in this situation. So if she doesn't come out and say her side, people will never understand or never know. So at the end of the day, there's going to be questions about it. There always will be, but at least there's a side A and a side B. And which one's more believable? You know, if you come out and you don't, or if you don't come out and you don't say anything, then there's only one side, and the rest is speculation. And
now,
that can potentially ruin her career too. So there's a lot to lose in that.
100% true. Now, Houston OG Bun B has come out on his Instagram and made a video and said in support of Megan Thee Stallion, pretty much, you know, reiterating what everybody else has said here is that she's not a part of that. You know, she doesn't need to be in. She's not in that realm. So for people to label her a snitch is kind of, you know, ass backwards. Also, local Houston rapper Maxo Cream also had a video out as well and pretty much supported Megan Thee Stallion as well and said anybody that pretty much got a problem with what Megan did, you know, he got her back and, you know, he ready to pretty much go to war for Megan. And again, I honestly feel like it's a lot of people that are in Houston, not because of course she's from Houston, but just honestly feel the same way about the situation that's going on when it comes to she's not a street rapper. She's never been a street rapper. We know we most, you know, all of us from Houston, we mostly know how she got to where she is now when it comes to going to school at TSU, trying to get her degree, and also rapping and being where she's at and where she's at. And for her to be put in that snitching, not snitching category is very just head scratching. So,
is Tory Lanez even a street? Tory Lanez ain't street.
I've never. Yes, that's another thing. I'm happy that you brought that up because I do have I have a quote. Give me a second. I have a quote from one of our viewers, Seer, and my boy Sire, as we like to call him, my boy Sire. Give me a second.
What?
He says, make sure you to exclude Tory Lanez in the Black American man category. All I've been hearing is that BS men abusing us black women shit. That N-word is from Canada. Okay, wherever he doing good, he Caribbean, but when he and all motherfuckers like him show their ass, U.S. blacks as a whole gets a bad rep for it. So he said, "Fuck that." Which again, I don't know if he's Caribbean or not, but apparently my boy, Sire thinks that he is. Look, the point of his post. The point of his post.
Hold on. Let me
that's word from word, verbatim, word for word.
It cannot be word for word. That man.
We need to revise this shit.
I need to accept that. That nigga need to send that to you again in MLA format or something, bro.
Hey, you need to go use Grammarly or something.
God damn, bro. Come on, son. He didn't send that to you. I know he did.
I'm confused.
Bruh.
Like I ain't nothing to hide, playboy.
God damn.
Look, like I said, that's the message. That's the message he sent. What he pretty much is stating is that he's getting tired of other black people that are not from the United States getting a bad rep for black people that live in the United States that are from the United States, and people always saying black folks ain't shit because of X, Y, and Z when he's not from the United States. That's what his point was, which I don't know.
Since when did spousal abuse come into just one race though? Like, man, every single race does.
I'm just spreading the post. I don't think it has anything with race. I just letting y'all know what's going on.
Black Americans are like that, but no, that's a worldwide thing. Like, hell, domestic abuse has been around since the dawn of time.
Since dawn of time, yes sir.
So for that, you can't really just pin that on one race or one demographic. Nah. When people say stuff like that, I wouldn't even acknowledge what they're saying.
As long as you can read it, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
For the most part.
Damn. That was wild, bro. That was all over.
For the most part.
No, I blame that on X. X can read. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, we'll go with that.
It could be both, honestly.
Oh.
It could be both.
Shout out to you, though. Shout out to him. He's a fan of the show, obviously.
It's Eric. You know Eric.
Who's Eric?
Eric.
Mike Jones.
Divine Minds Media. Eric, Kobe, Napoleon.
Mike Jones. Who?
Anyways, I'm not doing this with you.
I don't know who that
I'm not
is.
doing this with you.
I'm
Anyways, to wrap this topic up, anybody got anything else to say? Because Greg get on my nerves.
Fuck I do. Fuck I do.
So a consensus 5-0. Pretty much Megan ain't a snitch. The same way we going with Brandy versus Monica 5-0.
I honestly don't care.
All right.
It's one of those.
All right. Well, like we talked about before, Mama Day and also NBA playoffs, of course, is still underway. And depending on your team, depending on who's your favorite team, you might be happy or you might be like Greg and be a little scared because y'all dumbass Rockets can't finish off a series. So, if
okay,
yeah, it'd be like that. So, So Brett, we'll talk to you first since you're a Spurs fan and you guys are not in the playoffs. How you feel about watching the playoffs from home?
Man,
Oh yeah, it's shade everywhere. It's shade everywhere being thrown.
Trash.
That's okay because for the first time in a really long time, he's really not in the playoffs. But this year it was to be expected. Like we weren't expected to do anything ever since Kawhi left anyway. So why not rebuild at this point? I'm okay with it. We trade away LaMarcus.
Sound like excuses to me.
Excuses.
Excuses. I'm just saying I'm okay with the rebuilding year. We're not expected to do anything. There's no expectations for the Spurs. Zero. And that's
all right. Talk about winners now. Since y'all not in the playoffs.
We're not in the playoffs, and I'm okay with that. For the first time in 15, 16 years? Like
you don't even know how long. That's why
I don't know. That's how long it's been since we've been in the playoffs. 17 seasons consecutive you were in the playoffs.
Okay,
so that's even more.
Now the question of the night: does anybody know the team that now holds the most consecutive playoff appearances now that the Spurs are not in the playoffs? Do anybody know that question of the night? And if you're watching the show, you can also comment in as well.
Ooh, that's Rockets?
Ooh, no, I couldn't say Rockets.
No.
Ishmael is correct with the Houston Rockets with 8 years in a row.
Oh,
wow.
Dang,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 8 years in a row. Shout out to Ishmael with that answer. Yes, sir. He is correct. And speaking of the Rockets, like I said before, they are tied 2-2 with OKC. And before the series started, I really thought OKC would be able to push it to 6. But after game 1, I really thought the Rockets were going to be able to take care of that series pretty easily just because they looked like they had too much firepower. Well, good thing about a series is that they play more than one game. And after 4 games, they are tied 2-2. And going into game 5, we have some Houston Rocket fans here. What do you guys think? What we got going on with the Rockets?
Well, let's not act like that we don't have our second best player out right now. That's been a major thing that's been resonating this whole time with this team. So, and then you live and die by the 3. And we've been dying by it for the last couple of games. And it's not like we're not getting bad shot selections. They're wide open most of the time. It's just people aren't knocking it down. So that's been the issue. It's just inconsistency on the 3 line. We don't have that perennial sharpshooter like other teams have had over in the past, like a Klay Thompson or even a Mike Miller. So we've taken that. Trevor's solid, but could you really sit back and call him like a big 3 threat? Could we really sit back and say that you think so?
I mean, I think with him on the team, he takes away that pressure from James Harden. I think one of the problems that you're seeing with the Rockets right now is they don't have that guy like Trevor where if James is able to drive to the basket and kick it to him, that's a 3 going in. I just feel like when Trevor Ariza was here, that's what he did. And for a long time, that's what he has done around the league. I'm not saying that he is the best 3-point shooter, but I'm saying he's like a Danny Green to me where he plays off the ball, and his whole point of being on the team is when you drive, you kick it to him, and he knocks down a wide-open 3. I don't think they have that outside of James Harden. Eric Gordon is hit or miss sometimes.
Yeah, he's a
PJ Tucker in the corner. 8 ball, corner pocket.
Yeah.
They just not consistent enough. They don't got that consistency. They needed another They need another person like Austin Rivers. He's not doing it. They need another person that they know for sure.
What are you talking about? Austin Rivers at home back in Orlando. He used to play AAU basketball. He balling. What are you talking about? He back at home, play boy. He get to see his daddy. He get to see his daddy every day. Don't know how many people get to see their daddy in the bubble. Austin Rivers fine. I don't want to hear no excuse for no Austin Rivers.
I just want to say that X wants this topic on the show, but when the Lakers lost the first game, we didn't hear anything. There was no NBA playoffs, nothing. Word. Depressed. Now the Lakers won.
Are you don't lie? First of all, don't lie to American people right now. Do not lie to the American people because after game one, we can go pull up. We can go pull up the records. We can go pull the records. People were getting on me. Hey, hold up. People were getting on me, and I said I'm not worried.
Yelling. That's why you're yelling.
Said, hold on.
Because y'all need to listen.
Hold on.
That's why you're yelling. You know you're lying.
X for once, I have your back because after game one, we said you guys need to watch out, and X said, "I completely forgot this was a series.
I'm listening.
After 4 games, so X, I think for once in his life was actually calm.
Nah, X was
after game.
He was quiet. He wasn't talking all this nonsense that he talked now. Jumping on the Rockets.
Okay. You're right in saying he was quiet, but he was quiet in saying that it's a 4-game series. So why are you guys trying to hype up one game?
Yeah.
Well, technically it's not a 4-game series. It's a 7-game series.
You have to win 4 games. You have to win 4 games. You have to win 4 games.
Can't even do basic math.
Sorry. I miscommunicated.
Teaching people children.
That's why.
I mean, I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to figure out after game one how many more games did the Blazers win. I'm just trying to figure out. That's all. How many did they win after game one?
It's a 7-game series.
I'm just trying to make sure we all on the same page. That's all.
It's the number 1 seed versus the 8 seed.
Yeah, just like the Bucks lost to the Magic, just like the Raptors lost last year in game 1 to their number 8 seed as well, and went on to win the NBA Finals. Yeah, you're right. So number one seeds. Let me finish. Number 1 seeds probably should not lose to 8 seeds. You're correct. I'm talking about they probably should sweep majority of the time. But don't get me wrong. Don't tell me Dame is a bum. Don't you tell me Dame Lillard is a bum and should get swept.
Never said he was a bum.
The Blazers.
Okay, then. So why are we trying to act like? The Lakers are bums because we lost 1 game? Like, come on now, relax, guys.
I'm not saying you lost 1 game.
What I'm saying, this is what I'm getting. It's an overreaction from you guys, and I think I need to calm down. That's all. But we'll see. I'll say this: what I really want to see, and I can't wait because I don't know if y'all know or not, but I know next round if the Lakers win and the Rockets win, we get to see H-Town to Cali like Robert Ory, baby. We get to see it. I can't wait.
The NBA's rigged.
Blazers are not a normal 8 seed though.
You said one more time. It said the NBA's rigged, which that's a debatable topic. And Brett,
I was saying that the Blazers are not a normal 8 seed.
I mean, true, but they gonna get their ass up out of here like a normal 8 seed and get your gentleman sweep ass up out of here. That's what we about to do, son.
Shoot, I'm just paying attention to the draft. I don't even care about this.
Oh yeah, apparently, Mike. Yeah, Mike. So help us out. NBA draft coming up. What you think? We got top 3 picks. They just had the draft lottery. What you think coming up?
I don't know. I guess it goes by the team's needs. To be honest with you, like it's the debate between Ball. Do you think Ball's going to go first?
Apparently, Ish think that he might go for it. I don't think he's going number 1. But like you said, it all depends on what the T-Wolves team needs are. You know, maybe LaMelo might fit in with. They might want to keep Cat, and they might need a point guard to help out Cat. So they might make that number 1 pick. But also, you know, with the way Lonzo Ball's been playing, you know, maybe teams execs might be like, I'm kind of hesitant to go with another Ball because of what we just saw with Lonzo. But all we've heard since day one is that LaMelo is the best Ball out of all three of those Ball brothers. So
that's a fact.
Okay, so okay, can I finish? Like I said, so if they do want to take that risk at number 1, the Minnesota Timberwolves, then I have no problems with them doing that. We just have to wait and see how everything unfolds. But remember the last time the T-Wolves took a pretty good point guard and end up passing on Steph Curry. You get Johnny Flynn and you pass up on Steph Curry. So
I think they're going Anthony Edwards. I think they're going Anthony Edwards.
I think they're going Anthony Edwards.
And that's a good pick. I mean, that's a good, solid pick. You know, I ain't got no problems with that. I don't think the Warriors are going to get LaMelo. I think he drops to 3 at least and maybe even 4.
Nope. He needs to go past 3.
So let me ask you guys this then. Do you think there's any perennial all-stars in this draft or somebody that can be an elite or generational player?
LaMelo.
Like, obviously, do you think LaMelo?
I think he can.
Nah, you on that LaMelo hype. Nah, I don't know about no generational.
No, sipping that LeVar Ball juice right now.
Dude, you ain't lying on that one.
He is a 6'8" point guard, natural point guard that if he does what he's supposed to do, he can be a generational talent. I mean, when have you seen a point guard that size who can pass the ball like he passes the ball? The only thing is his shot selection and his shot. Irving Magic Johnson, sir. Okay, so
you're proving his point right now.
You're proving my point.
I'm not. You asked when. I said Irving Magic Johnson. That's what I said.
I have one problem with what Ishmael said. If he does what he's supposed to do, isn't that
everybody draft pick? That's every draft pick, but not every draft pick has the same potential though. Not everybody has the same height. Not everybody has the same. Like, dude, there are certain things. That's the same reason why in the NFL, if you're a wide receiver who's 5'9", you don't get selected in the first round. It's rare because there is a certain thing in sports where size matters. The measurables and shit. Certain things. You don't get a point guard that's 6'8" very often. He can be a generational talent. It's going to depend on if he's going to live up to the hype and if he's going to grind the way he should grind. The thing about Lonzo, you bring up Lonzo not playing the way he's doing because he's not grinding like he's supposed to be grinding. He was worried about other nonsense, doing all kinds of other things, and now everybody come headhunting for him, and when you're not ready, you see what happened to you.
What do you mean? How you know what he doing outside the court? From what we seen, he getting his work on. He out here gaining a little muscle. He got his stats looking right before the bubble. Okay, the bubble he wasn't playing that great, but again, he was looking decent.
The bubble is exactly it.
Again, they weren't really.
Where I don't do the Suns.
Were y'all expecting the Pelicans to really make the playoffs?
No,
I was expecting the Pelicans to make the playoffs.
The NBA wanted them to, though.
Yeah,
they did. The NBA definitely wanted them to.
It was apparent. It was evident. Like they wanted to make.
They wanted to make sure Zion got that PT in there, boy.
On the road to Zion.
Okay, do y'all believe the hype that they might trade Lonzo?
Yes.
For what?
Who gonna
for
take
what?
him?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying too. Like, what are you gonna get him? What are you gonna trade him for?
See, y'all trying to go into the narrative right quick. I don't know who the hell gonna take him, but they gonna try to trade him though. That's what I can talk about right there.
Maybe an expiring contract.
I mean, that's fine and all, but we just had to wait and see when it comes to management because I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the GM that used to be with the Cavs with LeBron, he's David Griffin. My bad. There we go. David Griffin, really, really good GM, and I'm pretty sure they have a lot of draft picks, and I'm definitely for sure that they are looking for the future. So David Griffin, man, he has all the cards in his hand right now to be able to make any type of moves. So we just got to wait and see what the Pelicans, what they're going to do. I would not be surprised at all if they're able to finagle a veteran player that we don't expect for them to get over the offseason. And they might pair them with Zion, and all of a sudden, they're 7-6 seed in the West. You got to improve year in and year out. Zion. I don't expect Zion to be a number 1 seed in 2 or 3 years with the Pelicans. You have to help Zion get better and also build around him.
So, what do you think the Pelicans' biggest need is then?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
If you had to choose one position or one slot that you had to emphasize on this offseason for them, which would it be?
For me, I mean, it has to be point guard. You got to get a point guard in there that complements Zion. You got to. But again, I said compliment I said compliment Zion. I don't think Lonzo compliments Zion the way that he should.
He's supposed to have everybody was hyping him up about his vision, his passing. He makes the people around him better, all that stuff. He went to UCLA, took them to the tournament when they didn't go before because
again, y'all fell for the hype. I never wanted to draft him. I wanted Jason Tatum. So if y'all want to run the film back, we can. I wanted Jason Tatum. I never wanted Lonzo Ball. Everybody else fell for the ball antics. Again, I think Lonzo Ball is a okay player, but again, I feel like somebody like a Russell Westbrook that can run up and down the court with Lonzo, with Zion running up and down the court. I think that would be great for Zion's growth as of right now. To help him getting up and down the court. That could be another generation of Lob City in New Orleans.
Mr. Triple Double?
That's terrible.
Don't pass the ball, Russell.
That's terrible. I disagree.
How you get a triple double if you don't pass the ball?
You just got past it 10 times.
Oh, okay. but you don't pass the ball though.
You can pass it 10 times and then be done with it.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't. I disagree with that.
That's
I would
Very.
rather say James Harden instead of Russell.
James Harden.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but my answer is bad though. Okay. My answer.
Please get Brett out of here.
The reason
So what
why,
about like a Chris Paul then?
Chris Paul.
That sounds logical.
Yeah, you put a Chris Paul in there.
Too old. It's too old. It's too late. But it's.
You're talking about.
But again, if it was Chris Paul 5 years ago, it would be great. Yeah, I'm literally talking about next year. What piece can we add next year to help? Man, you're right, but I don't know how much longer he has in him. I think maybe he has one more good year. Nobody was expecting for him to have this type of year he had this year. So
you can't
how much?
say that.
What I'm saying is how much longer?
Schroeder.
I don't. That's a nice piece. You know, that's a nice up and down running type of piece that you could probably add. But is Schroeder really that guy?
He's learning from Chris Paul. He's getting better.
He's not that guy.
No,
Not that guy.
So let me ask you this: who'd you rather have?
that's one of Ish African friends. He know.
Would I rather have who?
Ball or Schroeder?
Which ball? Lonzo?
I'll take Schroeder without the stupid ass gold patch in his head.
Oh man, that makes him him. Don't be disrespectful.
No, it makes him stupid. But keep going.
Wow, disrespectful as fuck, yo.
I think.
What are we in high school? What is it? What's Khalifa high school class? What is this?
Hey man, he's making
What
millions.
he's gonna say is?
I said I think I'd take Schroeder. I don't know. Really, to me, both of them just not it. Not for Zion. But to be honest, I'm not high on Zion either. I don't think that he's that. I think he's another, if not a worse Blake Griffin. Like, yeah, he dunks and stuff, but what else does he offer your team? I don't feel like he offers much outside of that.
So
I
just
think
his
he hustles
athleticism.
more.
You said
He
what,
needs to
Brett?
lose a little bit of weight.
I think that Zion hustles more than Blake Griffin does. He plays
I
better
mean,
defense.
Yeah. I mean, what he pretty much is he's our generation Sean Kemp. That's pretty much what he is. We just have to wait and see, like you guys said, if he can lose the weight. Because if y'all been to New Orleans before, I'm pretty sure y'all have had at least once. You know, that's some good ass food down there. So he gonna be eating them po' boys across the etouffee, gumbo. You know, he gonna be eating on the boudin ball. Exactly, he gonna be eating boudin ball. You know, all that. So. You know, and also he's from South Carolina, so he already eat good. He country strong. He's country strong, so he already eating good as it is. So it's just one of those things where, like we talked about with players, you know, Lonzo Ball and whatnot. Are you gonna do what you need to do to become that great player, Zion? Are you going to eat the right things? Are you going to work out? When, you know, in the off season, in Miami, in California, you know, in the sand to get your body a certain way. We've seen LeBron do his transformation with his body. We've seen James Harden do the transformation with his body. You know, we've seen guys had to slim down or had to, you know, tone up a certain way to make sure that they're able to play us at a certain level. I would not be surprised at all if it's going to come with Zion sooner rather than later, because he's just so much of what the media thinks is a generational talent, and of course he has so much backing him when it comes to the sponsors, all that stuff. They're going to make sure they get him where he needs to be.
So what do you think he needs to work out on most, as in offensive wise?
Shooting.
Yeah, I was gonna say shooting. Shooting is the main focus, but also he gotta get them free throws. You got to be able to knock down those free throws, because if he's going to get fouled and he's going to get sent to the line, he has to make sure he knocked down those free throws to where he's an even bigger threat to, like, damn, we can't, we can't let him drive, but we can't foul him because he's going to knock his free throws down. But we also, we can't give him the three, because if he's knocking down 3-point, you got to come out and contest. So if you come out and contest, all right, now he blows by you for a dunk. So it's up to Zion on if he's going to become better. If he puts in the work, he can become that generational talent. But as we all see in the playoffs right now, we have guys like a Luka Doncic, guys even like Kristaps Porzingis that are a little bit ahead of him, because of course they've been in the league a little bit longer. But these guys are not going to roll over for a guy like Zion because he has hype behind him. So Trae Young, Zion, Brandon Ingram, Marvin Bagley III, all y'all have to go and get better. Period. It's nobody gonna give y'all anything, especially Zion. I know he don't have that type of mindset where he just think he gonna come in and just bully everybody. But I will say this: I remember watching that first preseason game where he took that ball out of Knox's hand and took it like a grown man and dunked it on everybody. Summer league game. And I was amazed, because I was just like, man, this dude is something else. But if he can be able to bring all of that together and become a complete, basketball player, the sky's the limit for him. But we just got to wait and see.
I also think with Zion, he needs more post moves. He's gonna be in the post, bro, because his post moves are very limited. Very limited.
See, I was thinking the same thing. Go work out with a king. Do like what everybody else did.
Everybody else do. Yeah, I mean, Capella did that too, but that didn't help.
Man, Capella.
I'm just saying.
$100 million for a live player, bro.
I didn't mean to throw that out there. I'm just saying. But you correct. Kobe did it. I think Harden did it when he was here, when he's been here and whatnot. You have to do that. LeBron, yes, LeBron's done it. Giannis, I think Giannis has done it. I think Giannis, if he hasn't done it, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes down soon. But if you want to get better in the post, Hakeem is the one to come down and learn from and do it. And Zion is only 6 hours away. I'm pretty sure an hour flight to come to Houston and get as much working as you possibly want to.
Yeah, because if he can get the post moves down, he'll almost be unstoppable. They'll have to put somebody big on him in the post, and that's when, if he can learn how to do a shot, or at least a decent knockdown shot, the big man's not going to stay out there at the three and defend him.
I agree.
So you create a mismatch. You don't
agree.
even need to be great at it. You just need to be able to hit it on a fairly consistent basis, around low 30s percentile, to where they at least have to. Basis. Yeah. We're not asking him to be like Steph Curry or whatever. It was just be able to hit your shots. Be like Trevor
Ariza. Like a Trevor Ariza. Just knock down the shots when we need you to.
Like a Shane Battier too. He reminds me of Shane Battier.
Ooh, what you bringing up Shane Battier for? No,
I'm saying Shane Battier, great defender, solid knockdown shot. That's all you're asking from. Just be able to knock down a shot to where.
No, ain't so bad way. I haven't heard that name in a while. Me and Brett, some Duke fans. So yes, that's that.
Hey man, I've been a Rockets fan.
That's
all my life, so.
Shane Battier with his wrinkled bald head ass.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I hated that trade that the Rockets did.
Which one?
Rudy Gay for Shane Battier.
That
was terrible, because you could have had Yao Ming, Tracy McGrady, and Rudy Gay on the same team.
Well, don't forget about trading Doncic, Aaron Brooks. I know I'm missing one more. There's a couple other guys. Anyways.
Yeah, we had Lou Will, Montrezl Harrell, all them.
Yeah, there you go. Lou Will, Montrezl at the time. Yeah, half the Clippers team is the Rockets.
Yeah,
pretty much.
All right, so let's get on to the next topic before we keep on making these depressed Rocket fans even more depressed. And we'll talk about somebody that's been a little bit depressed over the last 6 months, ever since getting stiff-armed by Derrick Henry and becoming a lead blocker for the Tennessee Titans. Earl Thomas. What is going on? What is going on with Earl Thomas? Most recently, he got released by the Baltimore Ravens for getting into not one but two scuffles at camp, and apparently reports come out in Baltimore that he's becoming a cancer, and they did not want him on the team anymore. So, the first question, of course, I'll ask is, where will Earl Thomas land? And two, is this the beginning of the end for Earl Thomas in the NFL?
Somebody will pick him up. Initial reports, as everybody knows, was the Cowboys, and me being a Cowboys fan, I'm all for it. But there's also been reports that the head coach didn't really want him, so there's kind of an influx with that. But he'll go somewhere. I'd say, if anything, Cleveland.
New reports actually came out and said Jerry Jones called Ian Rappaport a liar, saying that they actually might be interested in Earl Thomas. So Cowboy fans, be on the lookout. Earl Thomas could be headed your way.
I hope so.
I actually shout out to you for saying the Browns, because I was actually on the lookout for that. I can't say his last name correctly. Grant Delpit. Thank you. Grant Delpit, from rookie from LSU, just tore his Achilles with the Browns, and wouldn't be surprised at all if the Browns find a way to go ahead and get Earl Thomas. Anybody else have any other destinations besides the Browns?
If Earl Thomas keeps fucking up, the Patriots can get him for cheap.
I can see the Patriots doing that.
That's usually the narrative when niggas keep fucking up and they keep on fucking up. The Patriots gonna get that nigga on a $500,000 contract probably. If he keeps on fucking up. It's probably not gonna be that cheap. Let me stop.
First of all, not this year, because of the way the Patriots look with everybody opting out. It's just the Patriots ain't gonna be the same Patriots. And two, Earl Thomas' contract with the Ravens by itself was a 4-year deal, $22 million guaranteed. I definitely doubt that he's gonna go from that to $500,000 a year. It just you're crazy. I'm sorry.
Never.
You're right. Hey, you're right. You're right, Justin Bieber. We'll go ahead and you're correct on that one. Ishmael, you got anything for us?
I don't think the market's that hot for him right now. I think some of the reports that's coming out of Baltimore don't look good for aging safety who has broken his leg multiple times. I think I agree with the destinations you guys said. Dallas, I could see that. I could see Cleveland if they want to. The only thing about Cleveland, I would say, is you got some young guys in that secondary that you may not want Earl Thomas coming in and throwing them hands with them. Just saying. The reports are saying he's out here throwing hands with teammates, so you may not want Denzel Ward to get them hands put on him. So I don't know. It's hard to say right now. I think it's too early because reports are still coming out, and they are doing their best to make this man look bad. They said he was missing meetings. One time he missed a meeting because he said he had to get his car washed. I mean, wow.
I didn't see that report. I did see that they like you said, they've had reports saying that he missed meetings. He just wasn't being the leader he was supposed to. But I didn't hear about it because he got a car wash. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, one of the reports said he missed one meeting because he had to get his car washed. I was like, man, that is wild.
You really trying to say as much as they can about him now. That way, other teams can get him for cheap.
But that's what I'm saying. But also, you got to have a team that's willing to take him. And he is an older safety. That I'm not saying he doesn't have stuff left in the tank, but I am saying he's an older safety who's had some injury issues.
Yeah, but he did make the Pro Bowl last week. So.
Everybody makes Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl don't mean nothing no more. Come on now, you know this. After Sean Taylor knocked the shit out of that punter, they say, you know what, we can't do this no more. Sean Taylor fucked it up for everybody else. We gotta go ahead and calm this shit down.
R.I.P.
So what would be? I know you kind of asked this, but like, what would be if he were to go somewhere? Would you be like, dang, I never thought he'd go here?
Like a dark horse?
Yeah, dark horse. Sir, it's a dark horse team.
Yeah, you're right.
I would go with the 49ers. I don't think they can get him because I'm pretty sure they don't have enough money at all. But Jerry, I saw a report. Jerry Rice was trying to vouch for Earl Thomas to say, hey, we would like him at 49er land, but I don't know if they have enough money. Honestly, I don't know the cap space. I don't know any of that stuff for the Niners right now off the top of my head, but other dark horse. What's up?
I'll say the Bucks.
Okay, that's a good one. Like them, or like the Packers or something like that. Like something weird.
At the end of the day, it just comes down to whatever team has the cap space, and if that team wants to deal with it, bro. I think it's still a handful of teams that want him. I wouldn't be surprised at least 6 teams that probably want Earl services. It's just they got to wait for all the media stuff to die down and didn't sign him.
Let me ask y'all this though. It might be a little ignorant to say this, but I'm gonna ask anyway because I don't really give a shit. People are saying that this is karma from him cheating on his wife. Any type of correlation with this? The brotherly love he was out there giving.
Yeah,
he was butt buddies with his brother in the bed. With
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear anything about it.
I seen that question float around a little bit. So
I can't do this with these fools.
I'm just asking a question. I seen it and I was just kind of like, I did remember that over
but if that was karma, how many dudes would be having terrible karma right now?
Well, if you're doing the right thing, you ain't worried about that. Ain't that right, Mike? Just saying.
Or you can take your L's in silence. You can take your L's in silence,
Or that.
That could be it too.
That's true too. But we're just talking about overall. Like, if you're talking about karma as in like cheating, and especially with athletes, anything like that, man, they all do that stuff. Let's be honest. They all go out and do their own thing. So I think that's a bit of a reach. Yeah. But I get it. I get the question asked. But when people really try to bring that up, I'd be like, man, nah. Because if that was the case, they all be fucked off.
They just want to bring it. They just want to bring it back up. That's all it is.
Yeah. That's all it is.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's anything in life. You already know how it is. Somebody do something, they just try to bring up the old funny stuff that's going on. It is what it is.
Make sure we didn't forget about it.
Yep. Now, guys, I just want to take us into our last topic for the night. It's another unfortunate, sensitive topic to talk about, and it's something that I think we need to address before we end this show. Before we get into it, I feel like I want to put this disclaimer out. We don't know all the facts yet. I don't think everything is still they're still investigating everything, and we don't really know the full story on everything. But us 5 black men that are here on this show, of course, I'm pretty sure everybody's heard about what happened with Jacob Blake. And of course, us as black men, we get tired, of course, having to see this on the daily. And I'm pretty sure other people that are not black are probably tired of having to see not black men dying, but probably tired of having to say, well, if you comply or if you do this, that, and the third, you wouldn't have to worry about that. So, since, again, we don't have all the information, I would just like to talk amongst this group about how you feel about what happened and, what can we do as a black community to hopefully not have these things continuously go on.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is educate. Have conversations. Like, so I'll just say this. So at my school, I'm the equity liaison for my school for the whole district, right? And so we talk about race relations and all that stuff in my school through me, right? And I think the biggest thing you can do is have conversations, and that way, or educate, everybody else on that. In the grand scheme of things, that like black people aren't a threat naturally to you, right? And so I think what a lot of it has to do is that like we don't have enough face-to-face conversations about those things. Like, air it all out. Like, what does this person think? What does this person think? And talk about it. We don't have enough of that. And I think that's a good start not saying that things will change, because who knows? But I think the best way to facilitate the change is to have face-to-face conversations, or as face-to-face as you can at this point, because things are a little bit messed up right now.
Mike, you want to chime in as an educator?
Well, there's a lot of things that both sides can do. One of it, especially in the Black community, I think the reason why I want to become a counselor, which I'm going to become, I'm actually going to become one. I'm in grad school now, is starting it from the roots. As you know, when you grow up in the Black community, it's usually impoverished. It's usually a negative mindset that goes into it. As everybody knows, we all know what that hood mentality is. We all know, like, a bunch of dudes we went to school with still had that mentality. So I think a lot of it starts from reforming kids at a younger age, because a lot of their dads aren't there. A lot of their moms are always working, is to give them guidance and let them know, like, hey, at the end of the day, violence is not always the answer. You know, if you stop it there, no police are called. You know, if you stop that violence and you stop that anger and you actually, like you said, sit down and talk it out like men, you know, and it sucks because we have this ideology in the hood that if you don't fight each other, you're all a bunch of pussies and things like that. And I was like, no, the most manly thing you can do is not fight. Because if you think about it this way, think about any military. You don't have to have the biggest numbers to have the best military. You always outsmart your enemy. And it's the same thing when you go into life. You have to outsmart people. You have to understand, like, the big wigs and the people that are in control of everything are the smart people. They don't lift a finger. So while everybody else in the hood is worried about, like, okay, I want to act like I'm the most gangster dude and I'm the hardest dude, that doesn't give you shit in life. That just makes you a crash dummy, because at the end of the day, you start emotionally thinking versus logically thinking. How many people in the hood can you actually go up and talk to and have a logical conversation with that are young? Most of them, they can't, because all they do or all they know is emotional driven thinking. Hey, somebody say you can't fight. What's that person going to go do?
I'm going to go show them I can fight.
Yeah. So it starts from the roots, and the same thing when it comes down to policing. The police have to understand, like, hey, there are certain ways you can go about a situation. For example, in the UK, they don't even carry guns around. So my thing is, if you're so scared and you really are in fear of your life, why are you in that profession in the first place?
I agree.
If you believe that, or if you're scared and you're trigger happy, you should not be policing the hood. I think it should go based down off the ideology of those police officers that will police their own and make it to where they'll have a conversation with kids. They'll sit back and talk to them like, hey, just because I'm a cop doesn't mean I'm out to get you. And because that's the ideology that we feed these kids too. That they start to act that way, and then they make the cop nervous, and then it's just a show from there. You know, the compliance thing doesn't always work, but at the same time, if you put yourself in less situations to have the police in your presence, then there's 100% chance that you're not going to get shot by police. If you don't do anything to have the police called, like that whole thing with him, he was breaking up a fight that he was never even a part of.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part about it. He was out there trying to stop two sisters from fighting. And so if those sisters had the mindset, hey, we can just ash this out because they were fighting in front of kids, like, bro, that is the most disrespectful thing. Because think about, as a kid, if you see your parents fighting, that scares you. That already puts emotional trauma into you. So by that time, you're already having a defense mechanism when it comes down to any authority figure. So naturally, you're going to tense up and you're going to make other people nervous. So it really starts in different complexes. I can keep on going on for it, but I think at the end of the day, we have to change our mindset, and then we have to understand, like, we have to get certain police in there that police the hood differently than they do in the suburbs.
I 100% agree. I just want to state about, my background, military, and then also my father, he was HPD in the 90s. He was a part of the drug task force and whatnot. He stated multiple times, and he stated when he was part of HPD in the 90s, the reason why he had to get out was due to the racism amongst the cops in HPD when it comes to looking at him a certain way, because he was the only black guy amongst the task force. So it was a very edgy time to be a black cop in that profession, because he was undercover, and some of the things that he would have to do, he would get mistaken for for a criminal or whatever it is, and actually had a gun pointed at him by another undercover HPD officer, and he was trying to tell him who he was, and he just didn't care. And again, it pretty much got him out of HPD and back into the military, because he was just like, why in the hell would I work for a company, work for anything or anybody that doesn't protect me for putting my life on the line on an everyday basis for you guys? And I 100% agree on, like you guys said as well, or I mean, like Mike said as well. Why would you be in a profession if you're scared on an everyday basis to go out and go perform your job? No one forced you to become a police officer, a military member, firefighter, any of those professions. You do it voluntarily. So if you are that scared, like you said, if you are let's be real, if you are somebody that born and raised in the suburbs from Katy, Cypress, whatever it is, and you are thrown into the inner city of Houston, and you never visited unless you just go for baseball and football games, it is a complete culture shock. So when you are policing that area, you are you're a little tense. Oh, what's going on behind me? And that makes people trigger happy. And I also feel like as well, like we said, like you guys stated before, Brett and Mike, all five, I'm pretty sure, have gotten taught when we were at a young age, hands 10 and 2, license and registration already out, windows down, no sudden movements, the things that, of course, to help you stay alive. Yeah. Like you said, Mike, as well, when you are a younger black person, you are very emotional because of due to whatever, this, that, and the third, whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. But we have to make sure we teach our next generation on how to go about certain situations without, of course, being emotionally reactive to, man, this punk ass cop pulled me over because I'm black, or he pulled me over because of whatever it is, and that's in the third. If that is the case, let them deal with it for that 15 minutes so you can get out of that situation and we can handle it afterwards. Because we don't want a situation that could have taken only 10 to 15 minutes that can change that takes 3 hours because of a gunshot and going to the hospital, and now you've changed not just your life but your family's life for something that could have taken only 10 to 15 minutes. Greg, you have anything else to say about this topic before we get up out of here for the night?
I mean, I just think that I think there are some things that we as a community need to work on. I agree on that, but I think that there are a lot of things that our society needs to work on outside of just the black community. I think our government needs to work on a lot of things. I think we need to hold people more accountable. I think that there are a lot of times where an interaction between the police is people are being very polite. I mean, you can look at like the Philando Castile thing. He was very polite to that officer. It wasn't like he was trying to be combative with the officer and still ended up getting killed. So it's not necessarily you got all these people that say, oh, comply. Complying isn't always going to ensure that something doesn't happen, right? One of the main things we need to do is we need to have less interactions with the police and the community. I think we need to police our own community. We need to be in the
like the Black Panthers,
be involved, yes. And I think that we need to stop relying on the police to get involved and calling them out. And I think that's one of the things that we didn't bring up earlier with the whole Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez thing, but that's one of the sad realizations that comes out of that whole thing. One of the saddest things about that whole thing is she felt the need to protect Tory Lanez because of the current situation with the police. Like, this is
Hey, Ish, sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry, but I don't believe that. I know that came out reports and all that stuff, but you really telling me she was like, you know what? Even though he shot me, I'm gonna go ahead and protect him because I'm thinking about he could get killed by the cop. Come on now, I don't believe that one.
Not only him, dude, herself. Can you imagine? Dude, like that we just said, this guy wasn't even involved in the altercation. He was breaking up the altercation. Now you telling me police arrive on the scene. You, whether or not you got shot by somebody in the car, you were in a car with a bunch of other black people. Police arrive on the scene. Y'all are in an area that y'all might not, that police might think y'all shouldn't be in, and they pull up, and you gonna come out there and be like, oh yeah, we got a gun in the car. Like they gonna be like, oh, you got shot, so you're okay. We're gonna go deal with those guys. No, they gonna treat all y'all like criminals. When they pull you over and there's a gun in the car, there's drugs in the car, they don't pull one person aside and say, oh, are those drugs yours? Oh, they're not yours? Okay, you're free to go. No, all of y'all are treated like criminals. Everybody in that car gonna get arrested. Everybody in that car gonna have a problem. So yes, there are people who are in situations where they may be in trouble, and because of the climate with the police and the way that we are treated, they say, you know what? Nah, I'm not even gonna say anything because I'd rather deal with this on my own than to have to go through what I'm gonna have to go through, be dehumanized. They will treat you like an animal, dude. Like, come on, man.
True.
So you tell it. Hold up. First of all, no disrespect, Ish, but you know, I've been through the criminal system and whatnot. I've gotten arrested. You know, not every time. You know, cops show up, they gonna treat you like animals or whatnot. Did I get? What? I'm listening.
I'm not saying that every time that's gonna happen, but what I'm saying is what people are seeing in the media right now, whether that be the right narrative, the full narrative, that's what people are seeing. And I do not put it past anybody for their initial reaction when police show up on the scene to be like, I'd rather not say anything and create a problem for myself or anybody in this situation. I don't put it out of the realm of possibility for somebody to think that way.
Well, yeah, especially if you live in the hood and the people that are involved are either drug dealers, gangbangers. It depends on the situation because the cops get to go home at night. Those people got to stay with those people.
Exactly.
So if you're seen talking to the police officers, guess who's going to become the next target? So you don't want to put your family through that.
Dude, and I agree, Mike, because think about the reaction, the conversation we had earlier. Think of the reaction of just her coming out. She didn't say anything to police, but now she's coming out after the fact and saying that this is the guy that shot me. And you got people still out here like, oh, she a snitch. Oh, why she saying that? That kind of stuff. Like, come on, X. You're really trying as hard as you can to make it seem like, oh, they're just fabricating a story or she's just fabricating a story. Like, no. It is not out of the realm of possibility for somebody to get in a situation like that and be like, yo, I'm not going to say anything. One, because I don't want anybody labeling me as a snitch. Two, I don't want to be put in a situation where the police think like, oh, it's our gun or whatever. And then all of us end up getting in trouble, get roughed up or whatever.
Yeah. And then let's not forget, at first, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't want to talk to him because you don't know what else is in that car. You forget, these people are celebrities. They live a certain lifestyle. So it wouldn't be. Hold on.
Tom, they were in a hotel though. Like they weren't in a car. She was trying to leave the room and he shot her. Right? I could have sworn they were in a hotel room, not a car.
No,
I thought they were in the car.
I could have sworn they were in a hotel room, but okay, my mistake. Calm down. My mistake.
I heard that the fight started.
Okay, that's what I. That's what I.
The shooting itself was in the car.
Yeah, it was in the car.
And so that's why I was like, I can understand that too because you don't know what else is in that car. Let's be real. You don't know what else is in there. So especially for Megan.
Came back.
You don't want to lose all that.
And all that shit. They could have weed, all type of shit in the car, bro. So yeah.
Weed in California. Weed in California. Oh yeah, that's a big deal, Greg.
They could. You don't know how much weed they had on them, my nigga.
They can have 3 pounds. And they'll get a ticket and keep moving. Trust me.
That doesn't apply to everybody.
All right.
Well, let's think about this. It may not just be weed. You know, people try different things. Hell, think about like if you hanging around with Travis Scott, you know damn well he's not just smoking weed.
We don't know that.
Yeah.
No, I'm playing. he brought back Astroworld in his own way. So yeah, he definitely was on a little something with that shit.
This nigga.
Not for real though. But anyways, Ish, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying Mike, I'm not saying y'all wrong at all. All I was saying was that one part. I feel like it's kind of hard for me to believe. That's all. It's kind of hard for me to believe that she was hesitant to call the police to protect Tory Lanez when she now, of course, is coming out pretty much saying fuck Tory Lanez, and everybody else has her back saying pretty much fuck Tory Lanez and all that stuff like that.
But she didn't call
now,
police.
I know that.
So I think she did that because he had his quote unquote goons come after her.
Well, you got to have goons when you fight too, so that makes sense.
This nigga. Again, this nigga.
What? I mean, look at the bright side, Greg. Somebody shorter than you, Greg.
Oh, that's original. I appreciate that.
Besides Lil Bow Wow.
That's original. I appreciate it.
No problem. I got you. Come on, Mike. Finish that up. That's my fault. I cut you off.
Yeah, you really did cut him off with a corny ass joke.
So you mad?
It's fucking corny, my nigga. You're talking about that serious ass topic, and you cut this man off. Come on, my nigga.
I think he had a Napoleon complex, and you forget Megan's like 5'10", 5'11".
I don't forget.
So I'm pretty
about
sure
6'3" with his.
If they got into a fight, I'll probably still put my money on Megan, just off the sheer size.
Facts.
So I'm thinking Tory.
That's the reason why he got the pistol, to make sure he leveled things out, huh?
Yeah, he got that. He put up that goddamn it on her ass.
Yes, it's like a motherfucker. Goddamn. Yes, sir. Nah, I mean, at the end of the day, look, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. That situation's fucked up, of course. The Jacob Blake situation is fucked up. To get back on topic, what we talking about right now. Again, I just think we gotta wait for more information to come out. Because like you guys said, it's unfortunate that we only see one part we only see, a minute of the video. We don't know what happened before. We don't know what happened afterwards. We're getting more of the reports saying that, like you guys said, that he was trying to actually break up a fight. And from what of course it looked like, he was, what a lot of people would say is that he was going back to his car to try to get his license registration. But we should know, as a black male, you can't, when you're outside of a vehicle, you have to do things a certain way. So the way he was doing it.
Hold on. They had his kids in the car too. I think that's the reason why he went, because his kids were in the car. He was trying to break up a fight, and he was trying to calm his kids down. And that's when the police shot him in front of his kids.
And look, again, that goes on the policing part. I'm not mad at James Blake. I'm not mad at what he did, but that goes on, because I could have sworn if police, if they were if a bullet ricocheted and hit a kid, wouldn't they have been at fault? Maybe. I mean, I don't know how the law works on that part, but
I think that makes it more worse, because obviously if a policeman saw that there was kids in the car and he's like, look, let me go calm down my kids, any rational person would be like, okay, cool. Because obviously if it's just a street fight between two women, I'm pretty sure it would not take that much to squirm the issue. It's not like it was a whole hood fight where everybody and their mama was out there with bats and the stuff you see on World Star. It was just two women fighting. He was breaking it up. He was trying to go to the car to either grab, like you said, his license or registration, or calm down his kids. But obviously they should have seen, like, hey, there's people in the car. And I'm pretty sure he explained to him, or even if he didn't, you have to understand your surroundings. He was not armed. He had no reason to go grab a gun and shoot anybody. He wasn't even fighting. So you have to understand, now, as a police officer, you have to understand what your first threats are. And obviously he was not opposed. He was not a threat. He did not pose as one. So
I agree. And also reports came out, from what I heard, apparently the police, because I'm somebody that feels like, we should at least get hit with a taser first before you get shot. Apparently they said that they did tase them. They tased him, and he was able to move, to keep it moving, and just pretty much disregard the taser. That's why he ended up. I know. Again, I'm just putting out everything that's out there, because again, it's unfortunate that this is this happens, of course, a little too often, and we have to keep on having this conversation. And again, us as black men, this isn't a topic that this isn't something fun that you want to have to talk about, because I don't know too many of my white friends that have to talk about these things amongst their white friends.
I mean,
no, it's no concern to them.
Do you think that police relations and the black community will ever, I mean, I don't even know. Like, will it ever even improve from where it is right now?
We would have to do major reforms.
Mike.
Go ahead, bro. No, go ahead. He got it.
I can speak on that because, not trying to put my personal business out there like that, but like about a week and a half ago, it's kind of unrelated, but I'm gonna bring it back to the general topic. I have my back passenger side window broken in, right, in my apartment, and I'm talking to the apartment manager, and they're just like, "Are you gonna file a police report?" I'm like, "Fuck no, I'm not filing no fucking police report. I'm not about to talk to police for what?" So that kind of goes with Ish's question. The fuck I need to talk to the police for? And that's in all regards. Us as black people, we don't want to deal with the police on any level because we're out here getting killed and slain in the streets. And I'm just reading right now, the police officers are on administrative leave, paid leave, basically.
Of course,
so getting paid after killing us in the street. Like, why do we want to? Well,
actually, Greg, he's alive. He's just unfortunately he is paralyzed from the waist down.
Yeah. He's alive.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
Thank God he's alive. Thank God he's alive because he could tell his story. Because a lot of people didn't have the obviously God-given abilities to tell their story. But yeah, you're absolutely right. He's still alive. But still, though, like just in general, we do not care about dealing with the police at all. And that goes back to Ish's question. It goes back to the entire thing. What can we do to improve police relations in regards in the black community? Me personally, I hate to be negative. I don't see it getting any better, especially because we keep seeing this shit over and over again. Everybody knows the problem. We know the problem. We know the problem, and we know what to do, but nobody wants to listen to us. That's the sad truth in all this.
It will get better when everybody gets accountability.
Yeah.
As soon
I
as
agree. I agree on that part.
As soon as police officers get accountability for what they do, they will stop because they're going to sit back and say, do I really want to spend 30 years in jail for a what if?
Yeah.
Because you can sit back and say, I feel like my life is in danger. But if you always feel like your life is in danger, as a police officer, you are a public servant. Your life is actually supposed to be in place of somebody else's. Like you put your life on the line for other people. That's part of your job. So for you to sit back and say better them than me, that's not your job. That's not part of your description. That's like me as the teacher saying, screw them kids. I just want my paycheck. You're in it for the wrong reason.
But you get them kids.
It's a power thing. You have to realize, like, I guess me going to Sam Houston, us having one of the biggest criminal justice systems in like any college and university in the United States, you start to see a lot of those kids that go into the police academy, not saying all, because that's a generalization, where the kids that were either bullied in high school, bullied in school, or struggle with power. And so a lot of them want to have that power. So for them, it's like getting a big penis. It's like getting a big dick.
Pretty much. Big dick energy. Big dick energy.
Yeah. They're like, you can't fuck with me now. I was powerless back then, but now I.
But now look at my badge. Look at my badge, my gun. Yep. That's real deal Holyfield right there.
Those are the people you have to get rid of. You have to siphon off certain people within your own community in order to do that. It was the same thing with the Black Panthers. They knew, slaves knew too. If you want to talk about black history, the slaves knew there were some coons out there. There were some house slaves that they could not take a part of because if they did, they'll snitch. They'll tell them their plans. Even in like, if you look at any type of dialogue from slave writing back then, they had codes where they even knew, like, hey, there's certain people we got to leave behind. If we're about to,
they gonna go run. They gonna go run. Tell massa.
Yeah. So it's like the same concept. They understood, hey, we got to get these people out of here. The police officers in their academy still don't understand that. They allow those people to run. And that's what sucks about it, because they can say, well, not all policemen are bad. That is true. But I'm pretty sure most policemen know a bad policeman. And your silence is a part of the issue. If you don't say anything, then there's going to be power struggles afoot. There's going to be cops that abuse that power.
I mean,
and
of course,
if you want
we grew up with my bad to cut you off, but we grew up, of course, with the movie Training Day, which pretty much shows the corruption of, you know, a bad cop being able to use his power in the wrong reasons or whatnot. and the hood stepping up and finally taking their power back from from Denzel in that movie. And then also I can't remember off the top of my head, but I want to say End of Watch. There we go. End of Watch. That was, I think that's a really good cop movie to watch because it shows the policing in the in minority communities, and also how police officers deal with things with the quote unquote good old boy system. So Mike, I definitely agree on everything that what you speak on, and also just the way that policing is trained. Me being a former military, we have rules of engagement. When you go down range on, you can't fire at people until pretty much you get fired at first. And if you shoot, somebody that's in Afghanistan, Iraq, now I understand they're completely two different things. If you shoot somebody over there, you can start a war. I got all that, but for the people that have rebutted that to me, my rebuttal is: are you telling me that people that are in Afghanistan and Iraq, their lives are more important than somebody that's in your country? That you say, if you love the United States so much, you love everybody that's in here, you telling me that it's okay to kill somebody because they don't obey commands? That is ass backwards to me. I can't deal with that. No matter if you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, nobody deserves to die because of they're not following a command. Now again, I understand if you a threat at the police officer, you got weapon, whatever it is. I understand all that, but in this situation, it's just a very unfortunate. A lot of things are going on, and I just really hope that everybody is able to get justice from this, which unfortunately probably won't happen because we still need justice for Breonna Taylor, and of course everybody else is out there that has unfortunately been as unfortunately life has been taken due to police brutality. So, like I said, we'll end it off on that for tonight. I just want to thank Mike again for joining us for tonight. It was a very short, like I said, very short turnaround for being able to get Mike on, because I wasn't able to hash everything out a couple of days before. And like I said, I definitely appreciate you for being on tonight. And we'll definitely see you guys next week at 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern for another episode of Kinfolk and Nem.
All right, man.
Shout out.